Of course, most people never knew about my personal gains. Let me show you on my computer. For instance, I uncovered a stock by the name of Sarepta Therapeutics when it was in the infancy stage of developing a drug to treat muscular dystrophy. I invested in April 2012 and sold just 8 months later, making a 2,539% gain. And while most people were skeptical of Netflix in 2008, I wasn't. Having insight into technological advancements, I knew the future of TV was streaming online video. I invested in October of 2008 and sold in May of 2010, making a 634% gain. I also saw a huge opportunity in Universal Display when they created organic LED technology. I discovered the opportunity very early on, buying in September 2008 and selling in April of 2011, pocketing a 293% gain. As you can see, the list of triple-digit winners goes on and on. I made 264% from October 2008 to April 2011 on Stratasys, 696% in just 22 months on Ariad Pharmaceuticals, and a 355% gain on Exact Sciences Corporation. I cashed out with a 279% gain on Facebook, and in February, I made a 327% gain on Olympus. I made 298% gains on Whole Foods, a 269% gain on CMEX, and a 266% gain on Grifols in 30 months. These 11 stocks made cumulative gains of 6,220%. Now, I'm showing you these gains not to brag, but rather to prove to you that when it comes to identifying and seizing opportunities, I know what I'm doing. And as great as these gains are, I fully believe the opportunity that this little device presents could make even bigger gains, giving you the chance to turn every $1,000 into $838,833. Of course, there are no guarantees in the financial markets, but the potential behind this technological revolution is undeniable as it grows 8,000% into a $19 trillion industry. If it does only half of what I'm expecting, it will make you incredibly wealthy. Imagine what you could do with those types of profits. Perhaps you would use that newfound money to retire earlier than you ever thought possible and buy that dream house you've always wanted. That's what I did. After making all my gains, I retired at the age of 42 and moved into a country home located on the outskirts of Raleigh, North Carolina. Fact is, I never did fit in on Wall Street. I quickly grew tired of the corporate greed, tired of the 16-hour workdays. Most of all, I was tired of missing the time I needed to be spending with my children. So my wife and I walked away when we knew we had plenty of money to live on. Today, I have the privilege of bringing my kids to school and watching them compete in fencing and learn piano. Of course, I'm still an investor. Investing has been ingrained in my mind since a child, when my father explained to me that was the best way to get out of India's rat race, where few can escape the lower class. Indeed, it was my father who worked endlessly, put me in a private school, and opened the doors to an American college. Perhaps that's why today, investing has taken a unique turn for me. You see, when I was on Wall Street, I made money for the 1%, such as European aristocracy, Swiss private banks, and for the Royal Bank of Scotland, helping them turn millions into billions. But now, I help Main Street Americans find ways to turn thousands into hundreds of thousands. And I'm doing it in a way that is truly revolutionary. I'm allowing people to virtually look over my shoulder at my own model portfolio so they can know exactly what to buy, when to buy, and when to sell. I'm also letting them in on my private chats with business insiders so they can be there with me as new opportunities unfold. It's truly exciting. Thousands of people are already using this revolutionary method to invest. Take a look at what they have to say. Aaron Kingman, who's a retired cardiologist, wrote in to tell me, "Paul, holy cow, You were right. This morning I awoke to a $16,000 green increase on my account. It happened just like you said. You nailed it. I made a clean, crisp 400%. Thank you. David Turner, who's an accountant, wrote, "Back in 2012, I had never bought a stock in my life, but I wanted to invest. I happened upon Paul Mampilly on the net. I made $18,268 in just 33 months with a single company Paul found. Paul specializes in unearthing the diamonds in the rough before anyone else has found out about them." John Dixon, a civil engineer, says, "The first recommendation of Paul's I bought was Yahoo. Back in 2012, I made a 290% gain. Paul has a wide global experience of life and business and somehow integrates all that in a way that he can see the signals of success in a way others can't match." In a moment, I will show you how another man made a gain of $109,115, and yet another made gains of $77,150 on one position. More importantly, I'll show you how you can join them. Best of all, anyone can use or simply follow my revolutionary way of investing, but you have to get started now. This opportunity is so large and so potentially lucrative that it could pass you by in a matter of days. It reminds me of one of the biggest stock market successes in modern history. Microsoft. If you were to invest in Microsoft back on March 13, 1986, the day Microsoft went public, a $1,000 investment would be worth $838,833. I think this opportunity could do the same for you without having to invest in an IPO or take on unnecessary risk. But it won't take 30 years for this to happen. This has the potential to be done in 4 years, and the gains will be even bigger. I'm talking about unimaginable riches. Think about Bill Gates' fortune of $77 billion, but think bigger. I know that's a huge claim. I hope it gives you pause, but I also hope you're intrigued because this innovation has the world's greatest investors, richest companies, and most powerful governments clamoring to participate as they see this area of the tech sector grow 8,000% by the year 2020. And you have the rare opportunity to get on board with them on the cutting edge of this breakthrough technology from a well-positioned company that's begun to start massive production of this little device. Before I tell you more about this company and how to position yourself before the mainstream catches wind, I need to let you in on a secret. It's the secret that helped me make those 6,220% in cumulative gains I showed you earlier. You see, most investors, Main Street and Wall Street alike, ignore history, especially when it comes to technology. But that is foolish. When it comes to technology, history always repeats itself. Every innovation follows what's called the technology innovation curve. Take a look for yourself. It has 3 phases. Phase 1 is innovation. This is when a new technology comes to market. It's the make it or break it phase. Many technologies never make it out of this phase because they never gain mass appeal. Phase 2 is the acceptance phase. This is where investors make a killing. Find a company with a breakthrough technology that's on the cusp of entering the acceptance phase, and generational wealth can be made, just like the $5 billion firm that makes the device I've been talking about. Hence why the urgency and the enthusiasm with this message. This innovative company is ready to take off, and I want you to have the opportunity to make life-changing gains. The final phase is saturation. At this point, practically everyone uses the technology, and the biggest profits have been made. Understanding this very simple diagram is what has allowed me to spot Sarepta Therapeutics as it was entering phase 2, and I made gains of 2,539%. It's the same thing for Netflix. Remember how everyone questioned if online video could ever make it? That was phase 1. Phase 2 is when everyone started subscribing. That's when you want in. Profits are to be had, and the majority of the risk is off the table. It's now in phase 3, which is why I no longer own it. I made 634% on that trade. Same for Universal Display. LED lights were about to enter their acceptance phase, so I invested. and walked away with 293% gains before LED went into the saturation phase. Nearly all my gains have been made this way. Of course, the trick is to know when a technology is going from phase 1 to phase 2. That's why I still wake up at 5 a.m. every morning to do research, and it's still why I have all the connections that I have. For example, I've met with the New York Times best-selling finance author Nassim Nicholas Taleb, Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman, and the man who decoded the human genome, Craig Ventner. I've even met with the founders of Gilead Sciences, Vertex Pharma, and Alexion Pharma, among many others. My point is, I know, without a shadow of doubt, that this new technological revolution is on the verge of entering the acceptance phase. Again, in the last 30 years, just 1 billion personal computers, 1 billion tablets, and 7 billion cell phones have been sold. Yet, this fast-emerging technology will be in 50 billion devices by 2020. No doubt, those who act fast will create unprecedented wealth. I've never been more certain of anything in my 25-year career. So what is this breakthrough that's going to change the world? What's the device that's so tiny that 100 of them can fit on the surface of this dime? In short, it's the technology that will computerize everything in our lives. In fact, you are already probably using it and don't even know it.